Hello folks, this is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on November 30th, 2019. If you'd like to get my game Decoding the Powerball, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Thank you and please subscribe. Okay, so the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. So to help me do that, I'm going to turn to the 5 strategies of my game. So strategies 1 and 2, the game card color code in the 50-50 picks. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, why I make them is to show you on how to use my game. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is a format that I came up with that represents the 69 white ball numbers of the Powerball lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize at the Power Play option. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage, and the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 15, 26, 37, 53, and 55. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list, and now I'm going to find out what colors they were. Okay, so the 15 was red, the 26 was red, the 37 was orange, the 53 was green, and the 55 was red. So I'm going to color these in. So again, the 15, 26, and 55 were all red. The 37 was orange. And the 53 was green. So now I'm going to count how many colors I got. I got 3 red, 1 orange, 1 green for 3 colors total. So up here, I'm going to make this 392 color code drawings I kept track of so far. And now a 3 color combination has now come up 206 times. Okay, so if you do some quick math and divide 206 into 392, you're going to see that a 3 color combination comes up more than half the time. Okay, and to me that's huge because long term, if I just keep on picking a 3 color combination, I know statistically I'm going to be correct more than half the time. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a new game card. So I'm going to get rid of all these colors and start from scratch. So my color code is right here. Here's the red numbers, the orange, green, blue, whatever's left over is purple. So what I did is I took the 69 white ball numbers, I divided it by 5 colors, and that's 1 color for each of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, and that equals 13.8. So my goal is to get as close to as 13 or 14 numbers per color as possible, or a good representation of each color. So again, I'm going to start in with the red numbers. Now the red numbers are the last 3 drawings of numbers, and the reason why this is because this will give me a maximum of 15 numbers. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with the 15, the 26, 37, 53, and 55. The next line down is the 28, 35, 38, 61, and 66. And the last line is the 7. 15 is already taken, so the 39, 40, and 57. So again, I'm going to make these red, and now I'm going to count how many I have. So over here, you can see I got 5, 3 are 8, 2 are 10, and 4 are 14. So up here, I'm going to make this 14. Okay, so moving on to the orange, I'm going to start in with the 14 here. So the 14, the 22, 26 is already taken, the 55 is already taken, the 63, the 23, 26 is already taken, 27, 28 is taken, 66 is taken. So back to the 14, that's taken, so the 17, 35 is taken, 38 is taken, so 60. And the last line is the 15, which is taken, the 28 is taken, so the 46, 62, and 64. So I'm going to count how many orange numbers I got. Over here I got 3, and 3 are 6, and 4 are 10. So up here I'm going to make this 10. Okay, so I think you understand how I came up with the colors for my game card. So what I'm going to do is just to speed things up, I'm going to scroll to the right. And this is what the game card looks for, uh, like for November 30th, 2019. Again, you can see that there was 14 red numbers, 10 orange, turned out to be 17 green, 17 blue, and 11 purple numbers. Okay, so again, more than half the time, a three-color combination comes up. So that means more than half the time, two colors are not coming up, and that's what I want to focus on here. So again, the object of the game is to eliminate groups of numbers. So the strategy here is pick what color group will not be coming up and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I want to point out that all five colors do come up. You can see that it's come up 13 times out of 392 drawings. Okay, so it does come up, but it's very rare. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a prediction on what color group I don't think is going to come up. And to help me make a decision, I'm going to turn to the next strategy called the 50-50 picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the 50-50 picks. So again, there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So there has to be a majority of either odd numbers or even numbers, or numbers to the high side or numbers to the low side. So I like to keep track of that and try to correctly guess what the majority will be for the upcoming drawing. Okay, so I kind of use these 50-50 picks as a roadmap to what I think will be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to update this. So I'm going to make this 433 drawings I kept track of so far. And basically this goes back to October 7th, 2015. That's when the Powerball lottery went from 59 numbers to 69 numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back and see what numbers came up. So I got odd, even, odd, odd, odd. So 4 odd numbers, 1 even. So I'm going to highlight the majority. Okay, now I'm going to make this 227. So out of 433 drawings, 227 drawings have been the majority of odd numbers. 206 drawings have been the majority of even numbers. Okay, so how you read this is, again, I like to break things down into 5, so it shows me the majority. So out of this 5 drawings here, you can see the majority was even numbers, 4 drawings to 1. Okay, but as I go back into the history of things, you can see that the odds have won the majority a lot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to predict that out of this 5 coming up, the majority will be even. So I think the next 2 drawings will be the majority of even numbers to make that happen. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write that down to remind myself what I picked. So again, I think more even numbers are going to come up than odd. So moving on, I got high and low. So all the numbers in blue are considered low. All the ones in red are considered high. And since that there was, going back into the history of things, you can see that the high side hasn't had very many runs here, okay? So, you know, you see that here's 1, run of 2, run of 2. So I'm going to predict that this goes on a longer run than 3. So I think more high numbers are going to come up than low. So I think more numbers in the red will be coming up and less numbers in the blue. So I'm going to write that down as well. I think more numbers to the high side. So I got left and right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to predict that more numbers are going to be to the left side. Mostly because in this last 4 drawings, you can see that it's been to the right. And for some reason, you know, it's like flipping a coin. It's hard to go 5 times in a row picking heads, you know. So I'm going to say that this next one coming up, the majority of the numbers will be over here to the left side. So one last one, I got this red and blue area. Now you can see that the blue is way far behind, 238 to 195. And you can see that the red has been pretty hot again. So I'm going to predict that these next 2 drawings are going to be to the blue area. Okay, so I think more numbers will be in this blue and less in this red. So I'm going to write that down as well. Okay, so I'm going to use that information to make my pick, and my decision is I don't think any orange numbers are going to come up. Okay, so you can see that I thought more numbers will be here in this blue area. And you can see that there's a lot more orange numbers here in this red. Okay, so another reason why I'm picking orange, and the thing about my game is that we're all going to look at this differently. So we're all going to come up with a different result. But in the last 6 drawings, you can see that a orange number has come up, and I'm going to predict that it's going to look like this with no orange numbers to it. So I'm going to block out these orange numbers because I don't think that they're going to come up. So when I block out numbers like this, this means that I'm not even going to consider these numbers when I'm picking what I think would be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm spending $3 on a Powerball ticket, which includes the power play. Okay, so in other words, I'm betting $3 that none of these orange numbers will come up in the next drawing. So if I'm correct with my bet and none of these orange numbers come up, then I'm one step closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 3, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers. So basically what I did here is I took all 69 numbers and I divided it into 7 different groups. So here's group number 1. It holds the numbers of 1 through 9. Of course, this is the only group with 9 numbers where the other 6 have 10 numbers to it. So how you read this is that here's the winning lottery numbers that just came up to 15, 26, 37, 53, 55. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this plane until I find the 15, and now I'm going to make this square red. Now I'm making it red because the 15 is red, okay? And the 15 is red because the color code said it was red. So I'm going to reduce this down so you can see the whole thing. Now before I do, I want to point out this 4 right here means that it hit 4 out of the 7 groups in the last drawing. So now I'm going to reduce this down so you can see the whole card. Okay, there it is. Okay, so how you read this is this big square right here, this is good for 5 drawings. Now the reason why I break it down into 5 is for a couple of reasons. When I go back into the history, it's easier to count going 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on, okay? But my theory is that if there's a lot of hits within this 5 drawings, then maybe there won't be so many hits in the next 5. Or vice versa. Okay, so again, there's 7 groups here, and there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So I know that 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. So the strategy is try to correctly guess what group will not have the winning Powerball number to it, and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so my pick was I'm going to go with no 30 numbers. Okay, so you can see in this 5 drawings here, already 4 30 numbers have come up, okay? 4 in the last drawing, okay? So the 30 numbers have been pretty hot through here, so I'm just going to predict that this is as far as it's going to go. So I'm hoping that no 30 numbers will come up. So I'm going to blow this back up, go back to my game card, and eliminate the 30 numbers off of the game card. Okay, so here's the 30, 31, 32, 33 to 36, 37, 38, and 39. So I'm going to get rid of those. And again, hopefully no 30 numbers come up. Okay, so here's the theory, is that if none of these blocked out numbers come up, then the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers have to be one of these highlighted numbers still left on the game card. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so here's the bread and butter of the game here, is that eliminating numbers. Okay, so this is my group 1 numbers. All right, so basically what I did is I broke the 69 numbers down into 4 different color groups. So when the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers land within these groups, I record where they land down here in the stats. Okay, so again, the 15 came up. That was in the blue area. The 26 was in the red. So I got one in the red, one in the blue, that 15. I have the 50. There was no winning Powerball numbers in the orange. And the 37, 53 is right here, and 55 is right here, so 3 numbers in the green area. Okay, so if there's a hit, I color the background red for hot. And if there's a miss, I color the background blue for cold. Okay, so I'm going to put 120 here, and this tells me how many blue marks are in this column. So this had a run of 2, and this is still running, so it's up to 9 now. Okay, so the strategy is try to correctly guess where these zeros are going to pop up. Now, if I could have correctly guessed that no orange numbers were going to come up in this last drawing, I could have eliminated all these numbers and gave myself a much better chance at winning some kind of prize in the Powerball lottery. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple of predictions on where these zeros are going to pop up. So I got 15 of these option cards, and they all have the same colors as red, blue, orange, green. It's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other from each different option card. So I'm going to go to option card number 6, all right? And my first pick is that no red numbers are going to come up. So I'm hoping that the 0 is going to be right here. Now the reason why I'm picking this is because this pattern of a 1 that follows a 1 comes up a lot. You can see it's over here, right here, right here, right here, okay? It just comes up a lot. So over in this red area, it hasn't come up very often in the whole thing. So this is like the second time it's done it. And I'm going to predict that it's due to happen again. So I think the 0 is going to be right here. Okay. So when I go back to the 50-50 picks, again, I think more even numbers, more to the high side. So as I go back, you're going to see that these red numbers represent all odd numbers, and they're to the low side. Okay, so that's another reason why I'm getting rid of these. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all these red numbers off of my game card. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the 25 and the 19 as well. And hopefully none of those low odd numbers come up. Okay, so the reason why I'm getting rid of the 19 and 25 is you can see that I got 5 numbers over here to the left on my game card. And when I go back to this group 1, you can see that there's no numbers over here. Okay, so what I did is I really wanted this grid of 8 squares across, 8 squares down, but that's only good for 64 numbers, and there's 69 in the lottery. So what I decided to do was pair a couple of these squares up, like the 8 shares the square with the 66. The 19 with the 67, the 25, 65, 53, 69, and 58, 68. So if I get rid of all these red numbers like I'm doing, I'm going to get rid of the 25 and 65 along with all these other red numbers as a group. So this is my way of grouping up numbers, okay? So my next pick is going to be option card number 8. No green numbers, okay? So the reason why I'm picking this one is because you can see that there's going to be 25 single blue marks here, okay? So I'm hoping that it's due to double up like over here. So I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. And as I go down through, you're going to see all these single blue marks here, okay? So again, I'm hoping that it's due to double up like right there. So I'm going to get rid of all these green numbers, okay? So I got the pattern of the 4 and 9 down to the 27. Then over here it's the 5 to the 32. So I'll get rid of the 4 and the 18. And over here, there's nothing to get rid of. So as I go back, I'm going to do this side. So it's the 36, the 41, 50, 59, and the 37 to the 64. So I'll get rid of the 41, 50, 59, 46, 55. And again, hopefully none of those numbers come up. Okay, so the last one that I'm going to pick is this option card number 10 blue. Now the reason why I'm picking this one is you can see that this says no 3. And what that means is that there's never been 3 zeros in a row like over here. You can see that there's 4 in a row actually, okay? So there's never been 3 in a row, and I'm hoping that it's due to do that now, okay? So not only a 0 for this coming drawing, but the drawing after I think is going to have a 0 to it as well. So I'm going to get rid of all these blue marks, okay? And it's the same pattern of the 4, 10, 18, 28 in all 4 squares. So I'll get rid of the 10, 28. I get rid of the 66, and that shares the square with the 8. So I'll get rid of the 42 and the 40. Okay, so hopefully I made all the correct picks so far, and none of these blocked out numbers come up, which means that hopefully the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers are still left here highlighted on my game card. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 5, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers. So much like group 1, where I divided things into 4 different color groups, here I divided things into 8 different color groups. Okay, so it's just another way of looking at groups of numbers, except I know with this one, there's only 5 correct winning Powerball numbers, and there's 8 color groups here. So I know that 3 color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. So the strategy is, try to correctly guess what color group will not have the winning Powerball number to it, and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to update this here. Now I have 15 of these option cards as well, and they all have the same colors as red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, yellow. Again, it's just that the numbers that it represents are a little bit different from each other from each different option card. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and update this here. So again, the 15 came up. That's in the gray. The 26 is in the blue. The 37 and 53 are in the purple. And the 55 is in the gray. So I got 1 blue, the 26, 2 purple, the 37, 53, and 2 gray, the 15, and the 55. So as I come down here to current, there are no winning Powerball numbers in the red area. There's 1 in the blue, that 26. No winning Powerball numbers in the orange. No winning Powerball numbers in the green. 2 in the purple, the 37, 53. No winning Powerball numbers in the brown. 2 in the gray, the 15, 55. And no winning Powerball numbers in the yellow. Okay, so over here I count how many groups came up or got hit. So I got 1, 2, and 3. Now the majority of the numbers are over here to the right side, so I'm going to keep this 3 green. Okay, so if the majority was over to the left side, I would color the 3 red like up here. Okay, so the reason why I do that is, when I see a run of green like here, well, I know it's going to turn red eventually, so that's when I'm going to be looking that, hey, if more numbers are going to come up here to the left side, then I want to be looking over here to the right side to eliminate or look for that 0, okay? So I'm going to make a prediction on what's going to happen here, or where one of the zeros is going to be, and I'm going to go with purple. So you can see here in this purple area, now what I do here is, again, I like to break things down into 5, so it shows me the majority. So here you can see in this first 5 drawings, the majority was misses, 3 drawings to 2, so I colored the background red for hot. The next 5 drawings down, you can see that the majority was hits, so I colored the background red for hot. Okay, so blue for cold, red for hot. So why I do that is when I see something like this that's been really, really hot, well, I know it's going to turn cold eventually. I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen. So I'm going to guess over here that this purple is going to go on a blue streak, like right here, okay? So I'm going to predict that this is going to be a 0 right here. So I'm going to get rid of these purple numbers, and they run from the 5 down to the 61. So I'll get rid of the 45, 53, 69, and 61. Remember, the 53 shares the square with that 69, so I'll get rid of that. Okay, so moving on. Again, I have 15 of these option cards. So here with option card 2, I decided to go with red. So here's the red. And as I scroll down, you can see that things got really hot down through here. So I'm hoping that it's going to cool down with a 0 right here. And I'll get rid of these red numbers. It runs from the 1 to the 66. So I'll get rid of the 2 and the 6. Hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on to 3. I'm going to go with red again. So here's the red. You see that things have been pretty hot through here. And now I'm hoping for a cool down with a 0 right here. So it's the 4 to the 28 and the 37 to the 61. So I'll get rid of the 12 and the 20. Again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Off to option card 4, I'm going to go with red again. So here's the red. You can see that things got pretty hot through here. And I'm hoping that it's time for a cool down with a 0 here. And I'm going to get rid of the 5 to the 66 and the 33 to the 36. And you can see that there's nothing to get rid of here. Okay, so let me take a second out to explain something about this group 2. And that is, okay, so I picked red. Now let's just say for argument's sake that I get this red correct, okay? So there's nothing to get rid of. Now if I come back to this option card 4 and I go for another pick, and let's just say I already got this red correct already, if I come back for another one, the odds go way, way up that I'm going to get it wrong, especially if I got this red one correct already, okay? So I designed this just to move on to the next option card where I have that 50-50 guess again. And what I mean by that is that on average, 4 of these option cards are going to have a hit to it, and 4 of these option cards are going to have a miss to it, okay? So that's what I mean by, 50-50 guess here, okay? So again, what I'm going to do is, if I pick somewhere and there's no numbers to eliminate, I'm not going to go back to that option card. I'm going to move on to the next one, okay? So here, option card number 5, and I'm going to go with brown. Now, the reason why I'm picking this one is that this one hit 1 and 5 is 6, 7, 8, 9 drawings in a row. One of these brown numbers have come up, and now I'm hoping that it's going to miss, okay? So I'm going to get rid of all these brown numbers. And you can see that there's nothing to get rid of here. So again, I'm not going to go back to that option card. I'm going to move on to the next one. And I decided to go with green for option card number 6. So I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of the 6, 13, 22, 29 all the way down. You can see that there's nothing to get rid of. So moving on to 7, I'm going to go with orange. So here's the orange. As I scroll down, you can see that thing's been really hot through here. And now I'm hoping it's going to go on a cold streak. So I'm going to get rid of the 41, 30, 34, 43, 36 all the way across. So I'll get rid of the 43 and the 47. Again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. So moving on to 8, I'm going to go with green. So here's the green. You see that things have been pretty hot through here, so I'm hoping for a cold streak. And I'll get rid of these green numbers, and that's the 8, 13, 24, 29, all the way down. So I'll get rid of the 24 and 56. Hopefully those numbers do not come up. So moving on to 9, I chose red. So here's the red. Okay, it got pretty hot down through here, and plus it's gone 7 drawings in a row, so I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. So I'm going to get rid of the 128 pattern on the left side, 1522 pattern on the right side. And there's nothing to get rid of. So option card 10, I'm going to go with orange. So here's the orange. You can see that things got pretty hot through here. And now I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. And I'll get rid of the pattern of 3, 18 in all 4 squares. And there's nothing to get rid of. So 11, I'm going to go with red. So as I scroll down through, you're going to see that things got really hot through here. And now I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. So I'm going to get rid of the 6, 14, 17, 65, 35, 43, 56, 64. And there's nothing to get rid of. So moving on to 12. I decided to go with green, so here's the green. You can see that things have been pretty hot through here, so I'm hoping that the 0 is going to be right here. And the green has this crescent moon of the 4 to the 28 and the 40 to the 64. And again, there's nothing to get rid of. So I got 3 more to go. So option card 13, I'm going to go with gray. You can see that this has been pretty hot through here, so I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. Plus it's gone 7 drawings in a row. So hopefully it won't go 8. And I'm going to get rid of the 5 crescent moon to the 66 and the 33 to the 36. And again, there's nothing to get rid of. So 14, I decided to go with purple. So here's the purple. So I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of these 2 squares right here. So I'll get rid of the 51. Okay, in this next one, I'm going to get rid of gray. So here's the gray. And again, I hope the 0 is going to be right here. And this gray runs from the 66 down to the 57. So I'll get rid of the 57. Okay, which leaves me with a bunch of numbers here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so the reason why I really believe in this is because one time before, and all the times that I've been doing this, I reduced the numbers down to 10, and the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers landed within these 10 numbers, okay? But here I only have 8. So, I just have to assume that I'm correct, and the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers are still left here on my game card, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a decision what numbers I'm going to keep, okay? And I decided to go with the 16, the 26, the 48, the 52, and the 58. Okay, so again, I thought more even numbers were going to come up than odd. Okay, so, if I get rid of the 49 and 68, and get rid of the 44, these are the numbers that I'm going to go with. So again, the 16, the 26, the 48, 52, and 58. So again, you can see that there was more even numbers than odd. In fact, they're all even, okay? More to the high side, the 58 shares the square with the 68, so that will make that happen, okay? More to the left, the 26, 52, 68 will make that happen, and more to that blue area, the 16, 52, 58 will make that happen, okay? So I'm just going to highlight these. And again, the numbers that I'm going to go with are the 16, 26, 48, 52, and 58. Okay, so, I think Sherlock Holmes said it the best when he said it's a matter of deduction. Okay, so if these blocked out numbers don't come up, then these highlighted numbers have to come up, okay? So what are the odds that I made all the correct picks? Well, let me go over the official odds. The official odds of getting all 5 white balls and the red ball correct, the grand prize, are 1 in 292 million. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct, and what I mean by that is that the game is geared up for the white balls, okay? The odds of that are 1 in 11,688. So, in other words, you can make nearly 12 million 5-number combinations out of 69 numbers, okay? So, I don't want to give any kind of illusions that this is going to be easy to win, okay? So another great prize to win would be 4 white balls and a red ball. That pays $50,000, and you can see that the odds are 1 in just about a million to get that right. So you can see that the odds are pretty out there, pretty far up. Okay, astronomical is the word I like to use. Okay. So I just want to give you some perspective that if you spend $3 per drawing, there's 2 drawings per week, you would spend $312 per year on a lottery. So I do have something for the Powerball number itself, okay? So there's 26 red numbers. So over here in this column, if you see, basically I just divided the numbers in 2. So if you see a blue number, that's low, 1 to 13. If you see a red number, that's high, 14 to 26. And over in this column, if you see a red number, that's odds. If you see a blue number, that's evens, okay? So the reason for the colors is that when I see a streak of blue like this, well, I know it's going to turn red eventually. I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen. So here, I'm going to make a prediction here, and I think that this next one is going to be blue. Oops. I think this next square is going to be blue. And over here, I think that this is going to stay red. Okay, so I'm thinking that the next Powerball number is going to be a low odd number. So in closing, I just want to thank you for watching. If you would like to support my channel, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. And as always, I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.